You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. The superintendent of the Weatherly Area School District announced yesterday that she tested positive for COVID-19. Officials say Superintendent Teresa Young has the virus, but was not in contact with anyone from the student body. Her office has since been sanitized and disinfected. Elementary school students returned to in-person classes last month, while 7th and 8th graders returned to their classrooms Monday. Middle schoolers will be attending Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and learn remotely Tuesdays and Thursdays. 9th through 12th grade students were scheduled to come back to classes, but plans were put on hold due to the recent spike in COVID-19 cases. The Pennsylvania Secretary of Health's urging residents to be diligent as COVID-19 cases rise throughout the Commonwealth. Dr. Rachel Levine said the state's now seeing the highest case count since the pandemic began. Over 6,300 additional cases were reported over the weekend, and over 1,700 people needed hospitalization. As of today, the state reports its highest daily increase of 4,361, which is the biggest so far. 130 of today's reported cases are in Luzerne County. The state's positivity rate increased to 7%, while Luzerne County jumped to 7.9%. Dr. Levine said that over 9,000 people died from the virus and encourages residents to protect both themselves and others by continuing the practices of social distancing, avoiding large gatherings, and wearing masks. As of now, both the governor and Department of Health do not foresee another shutdown. Over 50 people had to go into quarantine after a positive COVID case was reported at Tamaqua Area High School. School officials contacted the Department of Health, and it was determined that 56 individuals will now have to self-isolate. The district announced last week that 1 high school student and 2 elementary students tested positive for the virus. Though there's a high number of individuals in quarantine, officials say they have not tested positive. Rather, this is just a precautionary measure to help mitigate the virus from spreading. Several employees contracted the coronavirus at one local hospital in Luzerne County. A spokesperson for Wilkes-Barre General Hospital confirmed that 8 staff members have tested positive. Those employees are currently in quarantine at home, and the hospital's been conducting contact tracing since last Friday. Officials say the facility has a sufficient amount of PPE, and that all staff members are subject to both COVID-19 screenings and temperature checks before each shift. The hospital has 21 COVID patients at this time, and visitor restrictions are in effect to minimize any potential exposure. The hospital also encourages anyone experiencing a medical emergency to seek help immediately. The mayor of Wilkes-Barre plans to form a Citizens COVID-19 Financial Assistance Committee. Mayor George Brown's currently seeking 5 residents to serve on the volunteer committee that'll help senior citizens and families negatively impacted by the pandemic. Responsibilities of the committee will be finding programs and funding being offered through local, federal, and state assistance programs. Several city council members suggested last week that the city apply for state gaming grants to help get money to people who need it. Interested residents can find an application to serve on the committee at wilkes-barre.city/boards. A Kingston teenager was sentenced Monday for her involvement in a robbery turned deadly. 17-year-old Mercedes Hall learned her fate after conspiring with 19-year-old Gabriella Long, 20-year-old Christopher Cortez, and 21-year-old Devin Malik Cunningham to rob Long's grandfather, 71-year-old Joseph Monka, in his Edwardsville home back on April 15, 2019. Prosecutors stated that Long lured her grandfather to an upstairs bedroom where Cortez and Cunningham ambushed him. Cunningham used a golf club to bludgeon him, while Cortez stabbed him numerous times. They then proceeded to steal nearly $30,000 along with Monka's vehicle. Hall pled guilty to third-degree murder and testified against the others. She was sentenced to serve 6 to 12 years in state prison. A video of Schuylkill County Commissioner George Halkovich was released last Friday by the Sheriff's Office. The State Office of Open Records ruled October 6th that the video had to be released to the public. The video shows Halkovich climbing a rock bank by the security entrance at the county courthouse. Halkovich was under investigation for the alleged sexual harassment of 4 female employees. He previously denied all accusations against him. The case was turned over to the State Attorney General's office, where it's currently being investigated. However, at this time, no charges have been filed. A Mahanoy City man's in a bit of hot water after falling asleep behind the wheel and smashing into a state trooper. State police at Frackville say the incident happened this past Friday night just after 9. A trooper was driving on East Center Street when 44-year-old Eric Bettis reportedly fell asleep at the wheel, crossed over the center line into oncoming traffic, and struck the trooper's vehicle head-on. Luckily, no injuries were reported, but Bettis will be facing careless driving charges. Local veterans were honored today in Weatherly with a takeout luncheon. Wyln's Phil Kaufman swung by Heritage Hill Senior Community earlier and has the story.
Here in Weatherly at Heritage Hill Senior Community, local veterans pull up through the main entrance to receive both a delicious meal and tokens of appreciation.
So today we are doing a to-go luncheon for veterans. We have about 45 lunches that we are giving away to veterans and spouses this morning. They're also receiving a commemorative medal as a gift from Heritage Hill and a certificate of appreciation from State Representative Doyle Heffley's office.
Of course, usually this meal is a sit-down, but once again, like many events in the area, the new format allows for everyone to stay safe and healthy during the pandemic.
So we have been doing a veterans luncheon for many years. This is the first time we are hosting the luncheon in this format as a to-go luncheon. We usually host a luncheon, a sit-down meal in the community for our resident veterans and guests. But due to the COVID pandemic right now, we're opting to adapt, and we're doing the to-go lunch today.
The takeout meal includes a tasty spaghetti and meatballs, Caesar salad, and garlic bread with chocolate cake.
So we are doing well. We continue to remain, COVID-19 free here at our community. And, we understand that cases are going up in the community, so we're just doing everything we certainly can to keep our residents and our staff safe.
And if you're interested in supporting Heritage Hill or in the mood for another tasty fall treat, then check out their latest sale.
Now we are doing a pumpkin pie sale to raise money for the Alzheimer's Association, and orders are due next Tuesday. And we have a traditional pumpkin pie and a pumpkin cheesecake take on the pumpkin pie. And you can just give us a call to place your order and pick them up the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. And you would just call 570-427-4500.
That number again to place your pumpkin pie order is 570-427-4500. Reporting from Heritage Hill in Weatherly with Wyln News, I'm Philip Kaufman.
Thank you, Phil. Coming up on Wyln News, where we stand on the road to a COVID-19 vaccine. Plus, Steelers fans now wait anxiously for Sunday's lineup. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ezra. I'm 5 years old, and it's gonna rain out. But
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields are professionally designed and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-455-4251 extension 1378 for more information.
The Weatherly Area School District's looking to hire a few good people. The school board accepted 2 part-time paraprofessional resignations last week, and the district intends to replace those who resigned. The board reduced 5 full-time paraprofessionals to part-time back in June due to budget cuts. The district's also looking to hire more part-time cleaning aides and custodians with flexible hours, as well as substitute teachers. Those interested should get in touch with the district's business office. Pfizer indicated that it's on track to file an emergency use application later this month with U.S. regulators for a vaccine to protect against COVID-19. The company said an early peek at its vaccine data suggested that the shots may be 90% effective at preventing COVID-19. However, this did not mean that a vaccine's imminent. So far, this interim analysis from an independent data monitoring board looked at 94 infections recorded in a study that enrolled nearly 44,000 people in the U.S. and 5 other countries. Authorities stressed that it's unlikely any vaccine will arrive before the end of the year, and limited initial supplies will be rationed. Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech are among 10 other possible vaccine candidates in late-stage testing around the world. A record 10,000 turkeys will be donated to families for the Thanksgiving holiday, courtesy of the Giant Company. Bringing the true meaning of the company's new brand platform to life for today's table, turkeys will be donated to 28 partner food banks across Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia to ensure all families celebrate the holiday season with a fulfilling meal. Giant team members will also volunteer at 10 food banks to serve families and communities across the company's footprint. They'll pack hunger relief boxes in between organizing and restocking shelves to help the nonprofits prepare for the busy holiday season. Organizations across the state are teaming up to help feed families in need throughout this hunting season. Agriculture Secretary Russell Redding joined Hunters Sharing the Harvest and Hunger Free Pennsylvania today to encourage hunters to consider donating a deer to help put food on the tables of Pennsylvanians in need. Last year, Hunters Sharing the Harvest received over 160,000 pounds of venison and had it distributed to provide 822,000 meals across the state. A single deer alone can provide up to 200 meals. Interested hunters can take their deer to a participating processor and donate any amount of meat to the program. More information on Hunters Sharing the Harvest can be found at sharedeer.org. The Pittsburgh Steelers placed 4 more players on the list for COVID-19, which includes their quarterback. The move came a day after tight end Vance McDonald tested positive after their 24-19 win at Dallas that pushed to the Steelers' 8-0 record. As of today, that list now includes running back Jalen Samuels, offensive lineman Gerald Hawkins, linebacker Vince Williams, and yes, Ben Roethlisberger. The reserve COVID-19 list is for players that tested positive or were in close contact with someone who has. All players that came in close contact can't practice during their 5-day quarantine, but can participate virtually. Everyone on the list must pass COVID-19 tests through the week to even have a shot at playing at Heinz Field Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals. Coming up on Sweet Valley's News Choice, we talk headlights and taillights on this Trooper Talk Tuesday and Community and You, plus tomorrow's Veterans Day, so stay with us.
Welcome to a new kind of primary care for everyone 65 and older, where doctor appointments last up to an hour, lab work and x-rays are done on site, and there's a care team devoted to you.
It's kept me more motivated. I physically feel better.
Take classes in the fitness center or work out on your own.
It's just been one great experience for us. Best thing that happened in a long time.
Geisinger 65 Forward, the care you deserve.
CARES has immediate openings for life-sharing providers to mentor and provide care in their homes for an adult with intellectual disabilities.
Chris and I have known each other for 10 years, and it was suggested to us that we might want to try life sharing. We have done that, and it's worked well for us.
I like the experience life share gives me in the companionship.
If you would like to learn more, call CARES at 866-CARES-VIP.
Injured at work? No money coming in? You tighten your belt again and again. Call the Belt Law Firm. We work hard when you can't work at all. Don't buckle under pressure. Call Belt Law in Hazleton and Kingston.
Looking for information on the coronavirus pandemic? Make sure it's from a reliable source. Go to WYLNTV.com and click on the Lehigh Valley Health Network banner for the real facts about the coronavirus pandemic. And watch WYLN News live at 5:30 for updates on this ongoing crisis. The source matters now more than ever. WYLN, we're your local network.
Hello and welcome to Community and You for our Trooper Talk Tuesday. I'm Philip Kaufman here with Anthony Petrosky, Trooper Anthony Petrosky, and we are discussing headlights and taillights, those fun little things on the front of your car and on the back, those pesky little lights that tend to go out pretty often, but there's a couple different things to note with headlights and taillights, not just that, you know, they're just lights on your car. They also have a significance. So can we talk about
Absolutely. And people might say, well, why are you talking about this? But you know, it is important, especially now. It's getting darker earlier, and headlights are important because visibility is important when you're operating a motor vehicle. So one thing we see a lot of people don't do is check on their taillights, okay? And that's important because if you're driving on the interstate and your taillights aren't working, a car or a truck behind you might not see you. So it's important to be lit up at night. So we want you to check them frequently. Every now and then, all you got to do is put the car in park, turn your lights on, get out, walk around the vehicle, make sure the lights are on, make sure they're not burned out, and make sure that your tail lights are on. It's very important. It is required by the vehicle code to have operating headlights and tail lights. Again, visibility is important. We want you to be able to see and be seen. So again, check on them. And you know what? A lot of times people don't know they're out. And if we see that out on the road, we'll make a traffic stop. And people think, why am I being pulled over? I wasn't speeding, everything's up to date. But you know, you don't always know if your taillights are out, and if we see it, we'll make a traffic stop, and we'll let you know you need to get them fixed.
And I know personally, especially with it's fall now, it's getting darker, and then winter kicks in, I know that taillights have saved me on the road, just, you know, driving through a blizzard and being on the highway and having to see those lights. You have to like focus ahead on those lights ahead of you. And so is there anything else that kind of people need to know with taillights about utilizing turning signals and those lights as well?
Yes, turning signals are required whenever you're making a lane movement or turning from one road to another. They are required because you're letting the other cars know that you're turning. And it's very important. So again, check those. Turn them on, make sure they work. Another thing, especially with winter coming up, is the four-way hazards. Put them on after you check everything else, put them on, make sure they're working, because if you're driving home, you're on the interstate, and you slow down below 55 miles an hour, you should really put those hazards on to let cars know behind you that either you're going slow or there might be a stop ahead. It's just a good heads up for people. Again, we don't want any crashes, so you know, anything we can do to minimize them, let's do it. Check your headlights, check your taillights, check your turn signals, and the four-way hazards.
Perfect, and that'll do it for us today. So remember, please go out, make sure that all of your lights are functioning on your car. And don't worry, sometimes the trooper's going to pull you over, just give you a quick heads up and say, hey, maybe you should get those fixed. And and so thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us here on Wyln TV.
Hey guys, it's Ray Merrill, Blaze Alexander, Buick Cadillac GMC. Save over $4,500 on Buick Encore and Encore GXs. Save over $7,000 on the GMC Terrains. Or do you have Cadillac on the mind? How about a CT4 or an XT6? You wanted pre-owned cars? We've got the largest selection of pre-owned inventory in the area. Whether you're looking for a family car, a sports car, an SUV, a truck, we've got vehicles as low as $199 a month. So come on down to Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton for Buick, a Cadillac, or GMC, and just remember this, you always win in Hazleton.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice, everyday low prices, plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
Tune in every Sunday night on WYLN from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop action as only Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling High Voltage can bring you. That's Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling every Sunday night on WYLN. I'll see you in the ring.
Tomorrow's Veterans Day, and those that have served in the military will be allowed to ride all day for free on Hazleton Public Transit. All you have to do is show a veteran's ID to take advantage of the free bus service. Hazleton Public Transit would like to extend their appreciation to all our veterans throughout the area. The Hazleton Rotary Club's holding a drive-by spaghetti takeout dinner tomorrow. It's $10 per ticket or just $5 for veterans that show their ID. The dinner includes salad, spaghetti, and meatballs, bread, and dessert, with all proceeds going toward Hazleton Rotary Club community projects. Swing by the Pines Eatery and Spirits at 8 West Broad Street in Hazleton tomorrow, November 11th, from 4:30 to 7. And since it's tomorrow, tickets will also be available for purchase the day of. So be sure to drive on by and support the Hazleton Rotary Club tomorrow, who will be happy to serve you a nice, warm meal. McAdoo Fire Company is holding a Thanksgiving sale that's sure to cure a sweet tooth. The fire company will be selling homemade pumpkin rolls for $12 and pumpkin pies for $11. It's pre-orders only, so you better get yours in quick. Pumpkin lovers have until this Saturday, November 14th to pre-order your homemade goodies by calling Bob Leschko at 570-929-1079. You'll be able to pick up your delicious orders by Sunday, November 22nd, just on time for all the fall family fun festivities. That's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page or WYLNTV.com, where you can also find LVHN's real facts about COVID-19. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.
Welcome to a new kind of primary